There are in India today 100,000 lorry drivers and trucks and lorry drivers who take goods all over the country. Now that, I'm told, and I stand corrected, is one of the major causes of the spread throughout India of HIV. They go to a town, they get infected, then they go home, and then they infect their wives, etc., etc., etc. My little thing would be that no truck or lorry driver is given a driving license for more than 1 year. And he's only issued a driving license if he has a blood test and shown that he is HIV negative. Do that every year. If I was in the government, I would do that on a war footing immediately.
On a war?
War footing.
We don't have adequate number of nursing staff to look after such a large number of patients. So because the family members are there, then they look after their patient. So if a patient is demented or if the patient is having a persistent diarrhea, so naturally we get help from the family members, and the family members are also trained in giving the health care, observing the universal precaution. So we start the training of home-based care here itself. There are many young women, they are the innocent victims of this disease, because HIV in the initial stages remains asymptomatic. Many of these people are not aware, and because of their ignorance they have indulged into this multi-partner sex, or most of them so to say go to the commercial sex workers. They are unaware that they are HIV infected. They get married and then the infection is passed on to the wives. And I am getting an increasing number of innocent women who are HIV infected, and the source of infection is their own husband.
Yeah.
And
So
they are
many
passing on this infection to their children.
So the family that is helping here can sometimes be infected themselves.
Yeah, but at least, when the husband is in an advanced stage, the wife is in the early stages. The wife looks after the husband. But when the wife is really sick, she gets a very limited support from her family. That is the tragedy. He is a case of meningitis, complaining of persistent headache.
Three 3,500 new cases per day. And India will have 35 million HIV positive by the year 2005. To me, it's an emergency. Mm-hmm. And the sooner the Indian government wakes up and realizes that, something can be done.
Als je een epidemie wil bestrijden, zoals die
If you're trying to fight an epidemic like HIV/AIDS today, you don't do it by loading a plane with all the pills in the world and just emptying them over the third world. What you need is a basic health infrastructure. If you don't have that, you aren't going to provide any help for HIV sufferers. They are mostly illiterate, can't read the information on the leaflets in their drugs packets, and have to cope without a healthcare system that can tell them about the disease they have and the possible cures for them. If you don't have any of this, you just can't fight the epidemic.
The global pharmaceutical companies are at war, and the battlefield is AIDS. The war began when the Indian drugs company Cipla started producing generic medicines for HIV/AIDS sufferers in India. There's nothing illegal in this. Western drugs are too expensive for many Indians. That's why the Indian government